Welcome and thank you for being here. Today, we step quietly into the ancient world, where power shaped every life and mercy was rarely guaranteed. This is the story of Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan entered the world not in marble halls or powerful cities, but on the open Mongolian steppe, beneath an endless sky, and among a people shaped by wind, cold, and survival. He was born Temüjin, sometime in the middle of the 12th century, into a world where life was fragile and power was fleeting. The steppe offered no walls, no permanent shelter, and no mercy. Clans lived by the strength of their horses, the sharpness of their blades, and the loyalty of blood ties. To be born into this world was to inherit danger as surely as breath. Temüjin's father, Yesugei, was a respected chieftain of the Borjigin clan, a man of influence but not dominion. He had secured a marriage for his son at a young age, binding Temüjin to a future alliance that promised safety and standing. But fate intervened swiftly and without warning. On a journey home, Yesugei was poisoned by rival Tatars. He died slowly, leaving his family exposed and unprotected. Temüjin was still a boy. With Yesugei gone, loyalty evaporated. The clan abandoned Temüjin, his mother Holon, and his siblings, leaving them to fend for themselves. They were cast out into the wilderness, stripped of status, possessions, and allies. Holon became the anchor of the family, teaching her children to survive on roots, small animals, and sheer endurance. Hunger was constant. Danger was everywhere. It was here, in deprivation and fear, that Temüjin's character was forged. Trust was rare. Betrayal was common. When conflict arose between Temüjin and his half-brother Begder over food and authority, Temüjin made a choice that would haunt and define him. He killed Begder. It was not an act of rage alone. It was a declaration. Even as a boy, Temüjin would not submit. The steppe noticed. As Temüjin grew, he learned that strength alone was not enough. Power came from alliances, but alliances on the steppe were fragile. He formed a bond with Jamuka, a boy of noble lineage and shared ambition. For a time, they were inseparable sworn brothers dreaming of greatness, yet their visions differed. Jamuka believed power belonged to the aristocracy of clans. Temüjin believed loyalty should be earned, not inherited. That difference would split the steppe. Temüjin was captured by enemies and enslaved, forced to wear a wooden collar meant to break both body and spirit. But even in captivity, he observed, waited, and planned. One night, he escaped, aided by men who saw something in him: resolve, leadership, inevitability. He began to gather followers, not through birthright, but through merit. He rewarded loyalty, punished betrayal, and elevated men based on ability rather than lineage. This was revolutionary. On the steppe, it was dangerous. War followed. Temüjin fought rival clans with brutal efficiency. He reunited with Jamuka this time as enemies. Their conflict tore through Mongolia, pitting old traditions against a new order. Jamuka commanded nobles. Temüjin commanded men who believed in him. Temüjin won. When Jamuka was finally captured and offered mercy, he refused life without honor. Temüjin granted his wish, ending the life of the man who had once been his closest friend. The steppe was unified not through sentiment, but through inevitability. In time, the tribes proclaimed Temüjin as Genghis Khan, universal ruler. What followed reshaped the world. Genghis Khan did not build cities. He destroyed resistance. His armies moved like storms, fast, coordinated, relentless. Mounted archers struck with precision, retreating and returning until enemies broke. Intelligence, deception, and discipline defined Mongol warfare. Cities that resisted were erased. Those that surrendered were spared. This reputation spread faster than his armies. Fear became his greatest weapon. He turned his gaze outward toward empires that underestimated him. The Khwarezmian Empire made the mistake of insulting his envoys. Genghis Khan responded not with anger, but annihilation. His forces swept through Central Asia, leveling cities, dismantling armies, and ending dynasties. Yet Genghis Khan was more than destruction. He established laws that applied to all, protected religious freedom, promoted trade, and encouraged knowledge. The Silk Road flourished under Mongol protection. Scholars, artisans, and merchants moved across continents under his rule. He ruled not from palaces, but from horseback. As his empire expanded from China to Persia, from the steppes to the edges of Europe, Genghis Khan remained a man shaped by hardship. He trusted few. He planned relentlessly. He understood that power, once gained, must be secured beyond one lifetime. When death approached, he gave orders that echoed his life: secrecy, discipline, unity. He died quietly, far from the world he conquered. His burial place remains unknown, hidden as he commanded. But his legacy could not be buried. The Mongol Empire became the largest contiguous empire in history. His descendants ruled China, Persia, and beyond. Trade routes reshaped economies. Cultures collided and transformed. Genghis Khan was many things: destroyer, lawgiver, conqueror, visionary. He began life abandoned and starving. He ended it as the architect of a world remade. And like the endless steppe from which he rose, his impact still stretches beyond the horizon of history.